All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another Mav Essentials Live hosted by UTA Parent and Family Services. So excited to have you here from wherever you are celebrating your Maverick spirit. My name is Kelsey Bratcher. I'm the Assistant Director of Parent and Family Services and excited for all of you joining us this evening for a special presentation. I know we've had several Mav Essentials live sessions this semester, and we will have one more after this one. I'll share that information with you here shortly. But again, welcome. We are recording this presentation, so that way if you would like to go back and utilize it in the future with your student or with other family members to share the exciting things happening here at UTA, we would love for you to do so. That'll be available in the Maverick Parent and Family portal. So let's see if I can get these to keep moving forward. Here we go. So the purpose of our Mav Essentials Live, it started, of course, during the pandemic and bringing an opportunity for families to come together and learn about campus resources, bringing people together to have conversations on how to support their student here at UTA. Since it was such a successful activity, we wanted to continue to do that, and so we have carried that on through this academic year. So again, thank you for joining us and participating in Mav Essentials Live throughout the duration of the program. Our outcomes, of course, we want to make sure that we are connecting you with different resources here on campus. We want you to be able to connect with other family members. We want our participants to have the opportunity to share information with their student and find ways to help support them and their success here at UTA. If you haven't used Microsoft Teams before, there is a menu option for you to find some buttons for you to be able to participate. There's the camera feature, the microphone, the chat channel, as we will be utilizing the chat this evening. So hopefully you can find that. If you'd like, you can practice using the chat by going to the chat icon, clicking on it, and telling us where you are tuning in from. And then, of course, when we finish this evening, you can click the red hang up button. Just some virtual housekeeping that we want to make sure that we share, that we're all family here. And so ask questions, stay engaged. This is a safe space for you to ask those questions, to share whatever you have on your mind, and as we're learning about UTA. Make sure that your microphone, if you happen to open it up and utilize it during the Q&A time or to share anything during the session, that you then put it back to mute so that way it doesn't disrupt others while they are speaking. Make sure to use the chat feature. If you have questions that you don't want to come onto the microphone and utilize, then you can definitely put that in the chat feature, and we will be monitoring that and presenting them to our guests this evening. And of course, the camera feature is an option as well. If you'd like to be on camera, that's fine. We'd love to see your face. If you're not able to be on camera, that is okay too. We're just glad you are here participating. Some quick reminders about our Maverick Parent and Family Association. We want you to know that you do have those membership benefits that we hope that you are utilizing. If you are a Maverick Parent and Family Association member, you have a membership card. You can utilize that, or your student can utilize that card at our bookstore for discounts. They can get discounts on all things in the bookstore except for technology and textbooks. So if they need some apparel, some school supplies out of the bookstore, then that is a place they can go and utilize that, that discount card, your membership card for that. Also, the Maverick Parent and Family portal, making sure that you are logging into that regularly and checking the calendar, the news articles that we're posting. Not all of them come straight to your email. And so if you'd like to have more emails with that information, then you can log in and update your notification preferences as well. So stay connected with us and through the Maverick Parent and Family portal. Also, like and follow us on our Facebook and our Instagram if you're not already. We do post some content there and would love for you to be part of that online community as well. Some upcoming dates that we have coming up. We want to make sure that you know that your student has spring break next week. So anyone have their students coming home for a visit? We'd love to know. You could share that in the chat, raise your hand, put a heart that you're ready to see them. If they're not coming home, hopefully you have talked to them about safe spring break options and supporting them through that. So next week is spring break. UTA will be open. So if they need anything or have questions, need to access anything, UTA campus will be open next week. We will be here to support them. Excellent. See some yeses that the students are coming home for some spring break. We are planning our family day. That is on Saturday, April 2nd. And I'll tell you, I'm super excited about it. It'll be a great day for some family service. We're also going to have the opportunity to go to both a baseball game and a softball game that afternoon. And we have a family picnic that we're going to do at the new Mocheck patio. And so hope you will join us. Make sure you get your RSVP for your free tickets on our website by Sunday, March 27th. So I want to make sure that you get those in. And don't forget, when you are getting your tickets for Family Day, include your student in your ticket. So that way we have their count as well. Getting that information in is helpful for us with catering numbers and all of that. So be sure to RSVP. We'd love to see you. You're going to see your student here next week, possibly for spring break, but come on over and visit us at UTA and have a great day with us. Super excited about it, if you can't tell. On March 31st, we're going to have another Mav Essentials Live, and that one will be our final Mav Essentials Live for the spring semester. It is our Mav Ally 101 session, so hope you'll join us for that one. It will be at 6 o'clock as well. April 1st, last day for students to drop class. And then, of course, April 2nd, Family Day. Registration for the summer and fall classes are already beginning. And then May 3rd, last class day. So we'll get some updates on commencement and final schedule on the portal. So all these dates are on the Maverick Family Portal calendar as well. At the end of the event today, we will post a link in the chat. Your feedback is important to us. We want to hear from you. So I hope that you'll click the link that we'll put in the chat at the end so you can provide your feedback on today's session. We want to know what you thought about it, what questions, concerns you might have, and ideas for future. So be sure to leave that for us. We'll put it in the chat. If for some reason you can't access the chat, if you'll email us at parents, PARENTS @uta.edu, be glad to send you that link so you can provide your feedback. So without further ado, we have our special guest this evening. We have some exciting things happening at UTA, and I wanted to make sure that we brought our family friends from the University Center here to share the news and how this impacts you, your student, and the future of UTA. So Bear and David, if y'all want to take over and share with us what's going on with this new UC campaign.
Yeah, thank you, Kelsey. So again, thank you for having us. Like you said, Bear's on the line with us here as well, and we'll offer additional input as needed throughout. But I'll kind of take the lead on this, and we'll walk through this. So the first thing to kind of know is what we're looking to do is on April 4th and 5th, we have our student elections coming up, and as part of that, we have a referendum on that ballot that's asking for our students to increase the student union fee from its current rate of $39 a semester up to $150 a semester. Now, a few things that I'll add about that, and I know that's a big jump, and that's a little bit of sticker shock possibly for some on the call, and I certainly understand that. A few things I'll point out, though, is our student union fee is currently at $39. Like I said, it's the second lowest in the state, and it has remained at that level for almost 40 years. So back in 1987, we embarked upon a major renovation expansion of this facility, the University Center, where we added the Connection Cafe, Blue Bonnet, ballroom, the Rosebud Theater, very significant portion to the building. And like I said, really, we haven't changed the fee since that time period. As I said, we're the second lowest in the state. You can see us here highlighted in yellow. I'd say the top 5 or 6 there on this page that are at or around $100 or more are all institutions that have recently renovated their student union building on their campuses. So as you can see, most of these institutions have had to increase their fee to accomplish the goal that we're trying to achieve here. So we would still fall very much in line with these institutions. Again, I think a very good value considering what we're trying to embark upon, and you'll get to see that here in a few moments. So one thing that's really important to note with this referendum is while we're asking students to raise the fee, we wouldn't actually be collecting that new fee until fall of 2026. So their fee would remain at that $39 until that time. And what that's doing is it's coinciding with the end of the project. So we will actually be doing planning and construction activities throughout that time period up until 2026. When the project completes, that's when we would start collecting the money. We're anticipating that the project would be about a $75 to $100 million project. It would be done in phases. Most likely we would do the addition first, relocate some of those services and activities in the building over to that new addition, and then embark upon renovating the heart of the building. Another thing that's very important to point out is that the University Center would continue to operate throughout. So like I said, we would do the project in phases, so we could still offer things like our Chick-fil-A, our Panda Express, our student organizational spaces, as well as our event spaces throughout the project. Maybe some slight disruption with things moving to different areas, but again, providing those to our students we find to be vitally important and want to continue to offer those throughout. So this slide here really shows what we would be looking to touch in this project. So all those items in blue would be the areas that we'd be looking to renovate. So that's our existing square footage as it sits today. The areas that would not be a part of this project are our Career Development Center, our Rosebud Theater, and our Blue Bonnet Ballroom, as well as the new north entry that hopefully some of you have gotten the opportunity to see here at campus. But those are the areas that have been mostly renovated within the last couple years, and so are not in the same need that the rest of the building is. The orange block that you're seeing here is the new expansion that we would be adding on to this building. Right now, we're estimating that that would be around 55,000 square foot of new space for our students to interact and utilize. And again, we'll get to see some of those pictures here in a moment, but I think it would really help to improve that student experience at UTA. I, for one, have been here a little over 20 years, Bear as well, and we've seen some of these projects that have occurred on campus in the past, such as Arlington Hall, when it was first built, our Maverick Activity Center when that was renovated, and a project such as this that touches on that student experience outside of the classroom has a really, what I would say is a major change in our campus climate and really brings a much more cohesive experience to that student. So that's what we're really trying to achieve with this project. We'll take a few moments now to walk through some of the conceptual renderings. One thing I will also point out with this is these are just concepts as we sit today. We started this project about 2 years ago with a group of 25 students, and the images that you're about to see are a lot of their feedback. So we would be looking to, again, form another group of students to really take us through the construction design process, to make sure that these ideas that we've started with are still pertinent today, and there's not other things that we need to include with this project. So without further ado, we'll start on the rendering. So right here, we're kind of on the far east end of the building. To the left on the picture, you'll see Brazos Park, the outdoor pavilion, and to the right is the University Center. You'll notice in the image of the University Center that the outdoor patios are really now starting to engage that outdoor space. So one of the things that we heard from the students is that they want to have that indoor-outdoor feel where events on Brazos Park that are occurring, you have the opportunity to kind of spill in and out from the building, and it becomes a much more vibrant student life experience. So that's what we're trying to achieve with some of these patios and spaces such as that. Oops, excuse me. Moving up the mall, again, moving westbound. You're right outside the entry that walks in front of the university housing office. Here you'll notice that the stonework that we've started adding to the building on the north entry project is being added on this side of the building as well. Again, trying to bring a more modern and sleek design to the overall facility. Continuing up the mall further, on the right of this picture is currently what is the Paladuro Lounge. In the center is what is currently our campus entry into the building, or our most utilized campus entry into the building. And then to the left, you're starting to see that new addition to the building. So again, a very large addition to the building that hopefully will achieve a lot of what our student needs currently existing are. Continuing further on up the mall, you see now a very prominent entry into the building for our students. Again, like I said, this is really the main entry point into our facility from campus. This is where most of our students interact with. And so creating that focal point for our students to really showcase the facility and showcase that it's the hub of campus life here at UTA. Now we're stepping inside the building. So for those of you that may be familiar with the interior part of the building, either through a Mavic experience, orientation day, or other programs, this is what's currently our seating area outside of our retail dining options. So this is very transformative from what we have today, where it's a very dark and enclosed space. We are now opening up the lower level so it becomes much more engaged with the ground level. The upper level there is pretty much cut open and allowing that natural light to spill down into the entirety of the building. And what we're trying to achieve there is really just an opening up of the building and making it a much more warm and welcoming space. Again, taking a look at this image here, you're up on the top floor of the building. You're looking out towards our Paladuro Lounge. And again, just seeing that openness as it carries down through the 2 floors below, and seeing how that building really interacts and becomes a very cohesive space. We're back on the ground level here, looking out towards the Paladuro Lounge. One of the things I'll point out, and it's come up in several of my conversations with students, is, and probably most of you have heard the same, is our retail dining options. We would be actually looking to add more options for our students. We would be looking to decentralize them. Most of our students, if you speak with them, will tell you that it's very hard to navigate that retail area during our lunch time period. If you can get into the space, typically you have a long wait just due to how inefficient it currently is. And I will explain that in a sense because that is the original portion of the building. That was built in 1955. So we're very restricted in how we can move about in that space. So we would be actually looking to open that up, move out some of those food concepts to other parts of the building and decentralize our food service to some extent to allow a better flow, more efficient lines, and a quicker experience. The other piece to this is offering more seating for our students. So again, during that busy lunch period, even dinner period of time, it's nearly impossible to get a seat in any of this space. And so creating those areas throughout our building to where they do have opportunities to sit and interact with other students and really become engaged with their friends and community members. Here we are on the main thoroughfare as it cuts through the building. Paladro Lounge is just behind us in this image. One of the things that we heard working with our students is it's difficult to navigate. And again, thinking through those experiences of coming to a Maverick Experience Day or an orientation, it's very difficult for somebody to give you directions. And so what we're trying to achieve with this is creating an east-west and a north-south spine to the building where everything comes off of that. So it's, again, much easier to navigate. We have better wayfinding and hopefully a better experience for our students and guests to the building. So here's an example of a student organization space. Currently, our student organizations, they reside in the basement level of the facility. A lot of the feedback we receive is it's very difficult for them to engage with our general population. It's very hard to get their programs out in front of our students simply because our basement level is very cut off from the rest of the building. So we'd be looking to move this up to a more prominent location. We would be looking to give them actual dedicated space, which in most cases, a lot of our student organizations do not have that opportunity today. So for those students that may be involved in student orgs, as they sit today, a lot of them are having to use personal vehicles and personal apartments to store their materials for their organization. This would allow them to have a space within the facility for them to store those items, to come and work collaboratively with other groups and organizations. So this is an example of some study spaces within the building. When we built the Commons about 4 years ago, we added study spaces inside that building for small group project work, individual study. We'd look to create that in this building as well. It's been very popular and highly utilized by our students. And so we'd be looking to add that to this building so they have that similar experience over here. So timeline. As I said earlier, student elections are coming up in April. I believe it's the 4th and 5th in the University Center Art Gallery. We are trying to get a favorable vote. The student union fee works a little differently than some of the other fees on campus and some of the other academic buildings. The student union fee is actually dedicated solely to the operation, maintenance, improvements of this building. So in order to go forward with this project, we actually do need a favorable vote from our student body. They, at the end of the day, hold the ultimate voice for us. Again, this is very much a student-led facility, and so we need them to support this if this is a project they wish to go forward with. Assuming they do, we will have to go to the Board of Regents for final approval, and then we'll embark upon really the design and construction phase. We're looking again for that substantial completion of the project to be summer of 26, and then at that time, fall of 26, we'd be looking for the fee to begin. So just one final plug on elections. As I tell all the groups I meet with and all the students I meet with, you know, really at the end of the day, we just want to hear your voice. I personally would like a yes, but I certainly understand a no. And I just want everybody to get out there and make your voice be heard. So April 4th and 5th, please talk to your students and encourage them to go out and make their voice heard. Again, it's in the University Center Art Gallery here. And we would just love to hear what they have to say about this project. Kelsey, that's the conclusion of my presentation. Thank you again for the time today.
For this, and you probably couldn't hear me because my mic was up. Sorry about that, y'all.
So,
as we call it in the office, it's a rookie move. But I was just saying that I'm really excited about this and seeing the vision here. Should the students vote favorably for this, and so the opportunity here, and it was important for us to share this with our families, as you are oftentimes the person who is signing off on the dotted line when it comes to tuition and fees. And so being a financial impact for the future. And David, I don't know if you could go back to that slide that shows when that would take place, that change in tuition, should this have that favorable vote. That it's not immediately.
There's kind of our timeline, Kelsey. Yeah, and again, to your point, the vote is happening this spring, but again, that financial impact will not occur until September of 26. To your point, yes.
Okay. And so because of that, and some of you are alumni, and we want to make sure that you are also in the loop about what's happening on campus, the opportunities here, but families to be able to see this. And if you are able to talk with your students to see if they've heard anything about the new UC and the opportunities there. I know Bear and David have a link to a website that they are going to share with us to make sure that you can also access that. Um, for the families who, if you want to go back and utilize this recording from tonight's session, you definitely can do that and share it with your student, with your other family members, so they are in the know about the new UC and the opportunities there. What questions do you have? You can either come on the microphone if you want to put them in the chat. This is also an opportunity for you to ask any of those questions about the University Center, about its current state, what's available here, how it's utilized by the students, and the future. I'll pause a few minutes. Bear did put the link. It's uta.edu/the new UC. Very
Hey,
fitting.
Kelsey, can you hear me? This is Pedro.
Yes, Pedro. Hey, good to hear you.
How are you? Yeah, good. I'm actually sitting at another university with my third daughter. I'm going to take her home tomorrow, but the university shall remain nameless for now.
We've
But yeah,
got
no,
one here. That's good.
you do, and I got one more left. But yeah, no. Looking at the fee, I think the increase. I think for my son now, it'll be past his time at UTA, but it would be. I'm glad you guys mentioned that, because it would be something with respect to our conversations this week to ask, to ping him on. Hey, have you heard about this? This is basically a vote that you'll be doing for your other UTA classmates coming down the pipe, and that's a good thing to do, a good conversation to have with my son Pedro. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm actually looking at the current university with my daughter Rachel. Again, I just dropped her off for dinner, and I'm like, no, it's a lot higher here. So you guys are good.
Yes, I'll say I was pretty shocked in the difference in the UC fees.
Well, yeah, looking at the information that was just provided had increased for so long. I mean, you sort of kind of have to adjust somewhere.
Right.
But looking at the spaces of the renderings, I'm just thinking. Yeah, I'm sorry for taking
You're great.
the conversation here. Is the open spaces, the I guess decentralizing of all the food choices. I think that's a great idea, because my son has given me a couple of, because he's at West Hall, I think, right, I guess across the main street there. But he has mentioned those points. Like, man, I wish they could be separate. So that'd be a good conversation to have with him, saying, hey, it could be, just vote for it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I know. I go up there and I'm like, I don't even know where to stand to make sure that I'm in the right line to get what it is that I want. So if I feel that way, then I'm sure the students would love for that to be alleviated some too.
Yeah.
And to have more options. We've got great options, so that's cool that they would have more. Thank you for sharing that and your insight. Appreciate that. Anyone else with questions, comments? I thought I saw some typing in the chat, and I didn't see it finish out, so.
Kelsey, this is Bear. If I could jump in real quick.
Please.
If you guys have a question that comes up later, or one that you would like to ask us more directly, you can access our contact information through the website. And you can send that question if something comes to your mind later on after this call is ended. So please don't feel like this is your one and only chance to communicate with us. We welcome the feedback.
That is definitely good to know. And that way, if you're reviewing the recording or visiting the website, sharing the information, and your student or other family members come up with something in the meantime, now's the time to get those questions and share thoughts about it. I did put in the chat the assessment that I told you would be there, so hopefully you can access that before we close out, that you can click on that link and it should open up the form for you to link to, excuse me, that link should click open to the form for you to fill out. And then looks like Bear, we might need some help on the link. Yep, that one's not working. Is it a Go link? We're working on it, Karen, getting that
We have
link.
a much longer link, and it's supposed to be a reroute thing. So we need to verify that with our IT department and get that fixed. But this link should take you there directly to the website.
There you go. And yes, Karen, you found it from there too.
Yeah. Sorry
Thanks for sharing.
For the misinformation there.
That is all right. So if you happen to look in the search when you go to the UTA website, you can even type in Student Center. It'll pull up the website for the Student Center, and then there's a special tab on there that's listed as the new UC. Click on that and it provides all the information there as well. Absolutely. We're glad that you joined us this evening. And hopefully the link for the assessment, our little short evaluation, it just takes a minute for you to be able to jot down some information, what you felt about tonight's call. Would love that feedback, plus to share what other ideas you have and want to hear about for our Mav Essentials Live programs or other parent and family programs. We will put the recording from tonight's session in the Maverick Parent and Family portal, and might even just drop it into Facebook as well, because I think this is such an important topic as far as timeliness to be available for all of our families. So if you come up with anything, please let us know. I do need to add one more link to the chat before we go, because it wouldn't be right if I didn't have one more shameless plug for Family Day and for you to get your tickets for Family Day. I had it and then I lost it. Oh my goodness, I thought I was so prepared. I have it. It's right here. You ready for it, everyone? Dropping the link. It has the schedule of the activities for Family Day on Saturday, April 2nd. It is free to come and visit us here at UTA. Yes, the family is invited. So as you go to the website, and there is a link for you to claim your free tickets. We have the adult, we have student, we have children, we have youth. Just let us know who's planning to come with you so that we can prepare accordingly for our activities. So we'll start out with a service project in the morning, And then we have our family picnic. We have some baseball and softball. We'll also do the awards for our Maverick Parent and Family Association scholarships. We have 3 of those that we're giving out during the baseball game. And then some fun explorations that y'all can do on campus and around Arlington. So glad to hear y'all are making plans to attend. All right, was there anything else?
I think I just had one more. First of all, excited for that family, family day.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty cool. We're driving up from Houston. But a quick question in reference to just not just more for the UC, but I guess any of your locations. I know we're steadily getting out of this COVID fun. Not so much fun, but you know what I mean. And but preparation for any future events, is that in the mindset of maybe contingency plans and or preparation and stuff like that with respect to all the new buildings that are coming up and facilities? Is that something that's a point to look at? Because that's one thing I ask now, just to make sure as a contingency plan, just in case. Is that something that's thought of? That may be a thing to either talk about, not to be answered on this call, but just to talk about, just for future. Not that we need anything else, but just in case.
Yeah, I think part of it, David and I were talking and Bear before this about the university center and how the ideas were started about this and the renderings came, what, 2 years ago or so. And so a lot has changed and a lot of different thought behind spaces and how we utilize them and things that we might need as far as our offices, how students are utilizing the spaces now, and just overall how we do business in the university center with our events and activities. So I don't know, Bear, David, you want to touch on
Yeah,
that?
yeah, no, I'll jump onto that, Kelsey, and thank you. Yes, I agree. I think when we started this 2 years ago with our blinders on and living the comfortable life that was pre-pandemic, I think we all had one idea of how this project would go forward. I do very much believe the last 2 years have changed some of those viewpoints. So again, I really want to harken back to the fact that this is just conceptual, and certainly I think as we sit down with our committee of students and plan the project out going forward, those are certainly ideas that we have to take into account. 2 years ago, I would say most of the meeting spaces in our facility, if you would have asked us how we were going to push things onto Teams, we would have looked at you with a big question mark, because we had no idea what Teams was. Yes, it was on campus, but the usage of it was not near the level it is today. So those are all things that we will take into account and make sure we're accommodating for as we move forward.
If I can jump in and sort of pick up what David is handing off there. One of the things that we've heard about the Commons, which opened in 2018, there's more Wi-Fi bandwidth in that building per square foot than any other building on campus. Your students might be able to attest to the fact that they're always looking for power. They're always looking for Wi-Fi. The new UC this new build would grant us the opportunity to install technology that is sufficient for today and is forward looking and as future proof as we can make it. David talked about the original structure being built in the 50s and the additions in the 80s. Cell phones didn't exist back then. We weren't worried about reception, and if you have students that eat in the Connection Cafe, their cell phones don't work, and that's just not something we can have in 2022. So to the question about the pandemic, we would look at technology and a significant technology upgrade, but then we would also look for things that would be safety protocols as well. That would all go into the build. That would all go into the plans. And that would be sort of solidified during the design phase, which would happen hopefully next year if we can get our initiative passed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just as an example for myself, I mean, I've got a family of 6 total, right? 4 of them, 3 of them are in college. One's in a junior. She has another year and a half. But with them in the pandemic, I mean, I had literally 60 plus devices just in my home alone within that time frame, and I could just imagine a facility.
Yes, we need more bandwidth, more connectivity in the lower level of the UC.
But thank you very much.
Great questions and great comments too, both in the chat and live. So. Well, all right. Well, again, if you haven't yet, please fill out the feedback form for us for tonight's session of Mav Essentials Live. Be sure to visit the new UC website for more information to get some resources. And of course, anything comes up, have some contact information for both Bear and David and the team working on this project and presenting the options to the student. Encourage your student to also look at that information and remind them that they have the opportunity to vote on this, whether, yes or no. Having their voice heard is important. We know that just as far as, city elections and our presidential elections, their voice can be heard here on campus. And so that civic engagement starts here with that. So have them participate in those SGA elections up in April. Enjoy the spring break next week. If your student's coming home, give them a big old hug from Parent and Family Services. And we will look forward to seeing you at the next Mav Essentials Live on the 31st and at Family Day on April 2nd. Enjoy the evening, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.